What's up guys, it's Casual Avenger back with another video, and today I'll be going over the new rework plans they have for Marvel's Avengers. And like I said in the last video, there's a lot to unpack, so if you enjoyed today's video, make sure to drop a like to support the channel and subscribe to catch more Marvel's Avengers content every week. But with that said, let's get to it. Now if you don't know who Alex is, he's one of the game designers for Marvel's Avengers, and he's in charge of the new changes coming to gear and power levels in the game. And he's honestly one of the reasons I'm optimistic about the game's future going forward, because not only is he passionate about working on the game, but he also gets what's wrong with gear in the game to begin with, and he's actually listening to fans and taking input and feedback from them to improve the gear aspect of the game. And that's awesome because this game really needs to be better on that end, so it's great to know someone is behind the scenes working to make that happen while also actually listening to the people who play the game. But here's a list of everything that will be changing in the new update. They made fixes to bugs with perks and rearranged some perks because they wanted to offer players more variety with their builds, and they're also adding status effects to gear for all heroes, meaning Hulk will now have access to cryo perks, Kamala will be able to use plasma, and Iron Man will be able to use shock, and so on. Every hero will have access to all the game's perks going forward, and these perks will be available for you to get from the vendors, the hives, and Omega gear for Hulk specifically. The Omega level threat mission will now drop an exotic for every completion, so players can farm for gear, and instead of the minor artifacts being rewarded, we'll get fragments since they're going to be a bigger part of the game going forward. They made a few tweaks to how some perks are triggered, with passive triggers now having a lower chance of activating, and perks triggered by doing a specific thing now having a higher chance of activating. Once the update drops, the only resources that will be in the game will be polychoron, fragments, upgrade modules, and DNA keys. Everything else will be converted into fragments, upgrade modules, and polychoron, and effectively removed from the game with a chance of returning in the future if there's a new use for it found. Fragments and upgrade modules will be all that's needed to upgrade gear and minor artifacts, and to upgrade major artifacts you'll need fragments and polychoron. Dismantling gear will now give you fragments and upgrade modules and some polychoron based on the rarity of the gear. To get fragments, you just have to play the game. Beating enemies and bosses will reward fragments based on how big the enemy is and how difficult they are, meaning basic bots and aim scientists will drop a small amount of fragments, and adaptoids, exos, and bosses will drop the most. You'll also get fragments and upgrade modules from mission rewards, strong boxes, gear vendors, and challenge cards. As for how gear is going to change, they're putting emphasis on making gear feel important and needed in the game from now on, and they're changing how it can be upgraded. To upgrade gear, it has to be epic or better. Each gear type will only use its specific type to upgrade, meaning ranged gear will only be used to upgrade ranged gear, and in order to use gear to upgrade, it has to be at least level 100. That part's confusing because I'm sure it will only affect new players, but it raises the question of what can you do with gear that's lower than level 100. But when you do want to upgrade, things will work a little differently, so now the rarity and power level of the gear will factor into the cost of upgrading. For example, if you try to upgrade a legendary piece of gear using an epic gear, then it will cost more, but if things are reversed, then the cost will be less. And if the gear you're using is only one level higher than the gear you're upgrading, then the cost will be 100 fragments and 10 upgrade modules. So power level 102 would cost 200 fragments and 20 upgrade modules, and so on. Once your gear is level 140, the cost of upgrading increases and rarity will no longer be a factor. All gear perks will be unlocked automatically when you get gear, and upgrading will only improve your stats and your chance to trigger perks, which is awesome. And here they show you what they mean when they said there's going to be a cost reduction when consuming higher quality gear to upgrade. As far as the gear we already have, all gear that's been upgraded to level 140 can be upgraded to level 165, and all gear that's level 130 that hasn't been upgraded will automatically have all the perks unlocked immediately. To level up gear from 140 to 150, you have to use gear from playing the OLT and the new Claw Raid mission on normal, and to upgrade gear from 150 to 165, you can only get that gear from playing the elite version of the Claw Raid. They have more details coming on the gear changes coming soon before the update officially comes on November 30th, and I can't wait to see it all for myself, but this all gives me hope that the game can finally start taking a turn for the better and possibly begin to draw in more players who wrote the game off initially. But that's everything I got for today's video. Let me know what you think down below. Are you hyped for these new changes, or are you a bit harder to please? and need to see even more before you'll forgive them? Let me know down in the comments, and once again, if you enjoyed today's video, drop a like to support the channel or share it with people you think will find it interesting, and make sure you subscribe because I make new Marvel's Avengers videos every week. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll catch you in the next one.